In the information age, and especially with online marketing, creating content is a must, but coming up with content, well, that's the challenging part. Well, not today when I give you the 6 different ways I use to create content on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. Hey, it's Jesse Eker, and today I'm talking about how do you actually create that content that's going to attract your right buyer, your ideal market, right? The avatar that you set for yourself. And also, how do you come up with content on a consistent basis so you're not feeling like you are dreading the time that you need to create content, where content can actually be fun, where you can be known as the creator in you, right? The creator is like this word, this buzzword that people are using, and you are the creator. And I want to share with you exactly how you can come up with different content in an easy, doable, simple way so that coming up with this content is actually fun for you and is easy for you to, implement for yourself. Okay, let's start with number 1. The whole content creation game becomes a game changer for you and much easier when you know who you're speaking to. Because the main reason why people get stuck in creating content is because they're not thinking of the who. They're thinking about the what am I going to create today? What is going on in my life? You gotta role reverse it, right? You gotta think of the who and then create content for the who so that they're gonna be attractive to what you're saying, right? So the who, we gotta start with who you are creating content for. And the second part is, what are they experiencing on a problem level, on a negative level, on a frustration level? This is where an easy way for you to easily make some juicy content that's very attractive and high quality. So how would you do this? Well, think about 2 different ways. One is the external. External is, what are they experiencing externally, like outside their body, that's happening in a certain scenario, happening in a strategy, happening in a circumstance that they continue to go up again. So for example, we help specifically coaches and experts. And so one of the things that is going to be a relevant problem is, how do I get more leads, right? Like specific leads. But that's just a generic problem. How do we make it more specific? Well, one thing that we can think about is a frustration that they probably have, which is one of the strategies that a lot of people use is when they are talking to people through Messenger, through a direct message, they're having a conversation with people, and then all of a sudden they get ghosted. They can't talk to this person anymore. They're just not responding. The person seemed very engaged and all of a sudden they're not responding. That's a problem, right? So the content I could create is how to make sure you're not ghosted when you are moving your prospects through the sales cycle. And you might be thinking, if you're in my market, wow, that would be some really good content that I would really enjoy to understand, because that's probably happened to me. So think about what's going on with them in specific situations of what they're trying to accomplish. What's the frustration that they're having? What's the problem they're experiencing? And how do you make it specific enough that your market is going to love it, so they can relate to it, so they understand that you know what they're going through, understand what they're going through, and they can see that and feel that themselves. So think about the mistakes you see on a continuous basis. Like what common mistake are you finding people are making that are causing frustrations, causing problems for people? So that's number 1, and that will give you a huge list of different juicy content pieces that you can create that is going to really engage your prospects and let them know that you are authority, but show them as well that you know what you're talking about to solve their problems as well. Number 2, well, let's think of the opposite, right? So now that you know the problems they're having, what is the aspirations? Like, what do they want? What are they desiring to get? What do they want to do better? What are they trying to improve? Like this, for example. I know that this is a problem that people have, is creating content, but what they really want is, how do I create content on a consistent basis so that I can put out amazing content to attract more people, to attract my ideal buyer, to make sales maybe more effortless so that I'm not feeling like I have to really educate people before they come and talk to me. They know that they want to work with me. And so I'm coming up with the different steps to creating the content to get the desired result of what the content creation would be like, right? And so think about it for you as well. What are the steps? What are the ways? What are the processes What are the methods to get an outcome, to get a result, to get a transformation, right? What are the principles you need to use to get some sort of micro result, massive result, mini result, whatever it is, right? So think about outcome, result, transformation, and the steps that it takes to get there, right? So if you were going to teach someone like the 1, 2, 3 parts to something, and it will get you this in result, well, that's going to be a great piece of content as well. So if I was going to say something again, like these are the 10 steps to help someone who's making $5,000 a month to $50,000 a month and anywhere in between. Here are the 10 steps that you're going to want to use to make sure that you get to that $50,000 a month, right? So that would be, again, the outcome that they want and the steps to be able to do that. So that's number 2 of how you create the content creation. So what you're going to think about here is what are some of the outcomes, results, short-term results and long-term results that people want, and that's how you're going to create your content. Number 3, we're going to think about your specific program, your specific offer, what you are actually going to be teaching people or helping people with who are going to be consuming your paid stuff. And when you look at your paid stuff, there's like a overarching like basically map and compass of how do you get a specific outcome, right? And so in that, there's lots of different strategies you teach, lots of processes, lots of different information that's going to really benefit people no matter where they're at. And they don't need the whole kit and caboose, I guess you would say, to get that result, to get that whole thing is going to get that certain result, but those micro little pieces are going to get them, you know, mini progress, mini wins, mini momentum to get them moving in the direction they want to get to. So think about what you actually offer in the paid stuff and how can you condense that into a short information type content piece that's really going to help people. And don't forget, like, you know, you can create the why and the what without giving the how, right? So I'm giving you, you know, the why content's important, what you need to do, but I'm not necessarily giving you the templates we use for creating that content. Like I'm not giving you the workbook that we use in our paid stuff. And so there is a difference between, you know, the free stuff that we give out and the paid stuff we give out, but they're both extremely valuable. Number 4, this one's super easy and it just needs to make sure that you have some sort of people that you can do this with. So the number 4 is really just asking a question. You know, if I was gonna make a bunch of videos on this topic, what would you wanna know? Or I'm coming up with different pieces of content for the month. I really want to make sure that I'm covering what your biggest challenges are, what your biggest problems are. Share with me what's going on. Or, you know, this is the topic I am going to be making a bunch of recordings on. What do you want to know about this? Or I'm about to interview this person. What do you want to know about this topic so that I can ask that person? Coming up with, you know, ways that you can specifically ask questions to an audience to get intel from them is going to help you create content. So that's number 4. An easy way for you to come up with content is use other people. All right, let's go with number 5. Number 5 is going to be the questions that people are asking, right? So this might be your program. This might be your community. This might be an audience. This might be other people's audiences. Whatever questions people are asking on a continuous basis, this is going to be great intel for you to answer, right? Because if people are asking specific questions, like frequently asked questions, people are going to be looking for these answers, right? Whether they're going to be looking on YouTube, where it's going to be like a search engine, or they're going to just be looking in general. These are different opportunities for you to put those answers in front of them. On top of that, if you are building your email list, which I highly suggest you're doing, one of the best ways to warm people up is to answer their questions before they have it. So people in similar, you know, positions might be wondering this specific thing. Here's my answer to that, right? And so you're basically coming up with a bunch of questions that you're seeing people have for you, requests they have for you, or requests for other people in the market that you're using for intel for creating your specific content. So that's number 5. And let's go with number 6. Number 6 is going to be marketplace research. So there's a couple different ways you can do this. Number one way that I really like to do this is I like to go to Instagram. I like to go to influencers that I follow that get great engagement and have like some different power statements or different posts that create a bunch of comments, right? And the comments can be more in depth. And so I'll go to that post and it will have so much juice on what people are commenting about, what they've gone through, what they were experiencing, how they got through the other side. And they just are great data pieces as far as what I could potentially talk about. You know, what people are going through. For messaging, I could talk about specifically what I'm seeing and then how a new approach could be for that. So looking at different content, not the actual content people are creating, but the comments that people are using, all right? So that's one is using social media to look at content that people have already created and responses people have already given, and you create content that is going to be speaking to those comments, right? And same with, you know, Amazon as well. When you go to Amazon, you go to these best-selling books, you'll see all the reviews people have. A lot of times there's great comments and reviews that they wish they had a little bit more of this, or this is something they've been struggling in. Does anyone know the answer to this? Same with YouTube videos. There's a lot of great YouTube videos that maybe don't answer all of this and may say, I wish you answered this. And you go ahead and do that, right? So that is market research. On top of that, you can look at what people are paying for as well. So if you go to facebook.com/ads/library, go to all ads and look at different people that you follow or different people that you know are running ads, well, that's going to give you all the different ads that they're running. And maybe there's a topic that you are seeing over and over again that you can create some content on. Maybe they're actually creating some content that they're boosting that is going to be helpful. Maybe you go to someone's page and you see what's getting great traction again, and maybe that's gonna help you spark some ideas for inspiration of what you can create. All in all, there are so many different ways for you to get inspired by creating content and becoming the creator you're meant to be. But the most important thing is that you know who you're speaking to, because that is going to help bring that person to you and move them down the sales process for you to then provide your programs and what you can do to help them solve their problems. So which of the 6 speaks to you and which one are you going to start to implement today? Thanks for watching this video. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your attention. And thank you so much for being here. Bye for now.